For cheap D2R items, visit aoeah.com. You get 3% off with the code Arreat. Check the link in the description. Hello and welcome everybody. In this guide I have the pleasure and honor to present WolfBarb's melee build. The player named WolfBarb is the absolute original when talking about WolfBarb builds. He is on it since the required Wolf Howl helm came into play at LOD patch version 1.10. Of course I will also offer you a budget build for beginners and explain the basics you need to know. Let's go! Let's check out stats and Skilltree first. We put enough strength for our gear. At level 99 we need 222 dexterity for 75% block chance, and remaining points go into vitality. With the war cries we put 20 each in shout, battle orders and battle cry, and 1 in battle command. Battle cry is a debuff melee barbs may cast on the opponent before the match starts. It lowers the enemy's damage and defense, but you should make sure to fit the rules. There may be restrictions in some leagues and tournaments. In the passive tree we pick our related weapon mastery. We also skill 20 points in Iron Skin and 1 each into the other 3 passives. The remaining points can be spent just as you like. Now let's talk about the speed breakpoints. Theoretically all weapon types are possible, but when using a slower weapon type, it may become difficult to reach the maximum speed of 6 FPA. Ebotdz for example will be played at 7 frames speed, so 1 step before max. Very efficient weapon types are legend spikes, fanged knives and bone knives. They got a very fast base speed, so we don't need that much IAS here. Additionally they count as daggers, and dagger class weapons get some extra enhanced damage from both strength and dexterity. Each point in strength or dexterity adds 0.75% ED, and as we got both on a similar level, that's more than you will get from a regular melee weapon which adds 1% per strength point only. So this will compensate for the lower base damage daggers have. In the end that's the same reason why Balrog spears are popular for PvP barbs, and in opposite to throwing weapons, we can socket daggers just as usual. A few words on the hit recovery and block rate breakpoints. When the Barb transforms into a wolf, he has the same FHR and FBR tables as a wolf druid. So with a faster hit recovery that will be an advantage, for the block rate a slight disadvantage. WolfBarbs will use Feral Rage, which is an interruptible attack, so the duration of your block and hit recovery animations can play a role here. According to WolfBarb's advice, 10% FHR and a Storm Shield will be fine, but whoever wants to tinker on that build of course needs the correct data. So first let's have a look at WolfBarb's build, who plays a Legend Spike. As we know from the breakpoint table, it will need 105% increased attack speed at a minimum werewolf level of 14. More on that in a few moments. The Legend Spike will need a 40% IAS roll on it, and we also have to socket an IAS ED jewel to get a total amount of 55% increased attack speed. Like that we only need 50% more on the items, so that's 20 from High Lords and 2 more IAS ED jewels in head and shield. Getting such a weapon is not easy of course. In addition to the 40 IAS, the weapon also has to be ethereal and have self-repair or 2 sockets on it to put the jewel. It also needs a high ED roll to deal sufficient damage, and of course a Fool's mod, because otherwise you will miss attack rating. So there is not much room for variety here. The helmet is a Wolf Howl. Here it is crucial that we have at least +5 to Werewolf. Otherwise we won't reach level 14 for our speed breakpoint. The Wolf skills rolled from 3 to 6, the attributes from 8 to 15, Warcry skill levels can be +2 or +3, and the enhanced defense roll varies from 120 to 150%, so a perfect one is very rare. Like I mentioned, we need to put an ISED jewel in the head. The other parts look very similar to other melee builds. There is a storm shield with another ISED jewel in it, a 40 for the 300% ED and the chilling armor trigger, High Lord's Raven Frost and the stat ring, and finally Steel Rend, Verdungos and Gore Rider. In the inventory we put max AR life small charms, and in the weapon switch we need 2 Heart of the Oaks. Those +3 to all skills on each will also increase our werewolf skill levels. So in total we get 6 points from the helmet, +1 each from High Lord's Annie and Battle Command, and +6 from Double Hoto. Like that we end up at level 15, so we will shapeshift using our switch weapons right after the war cries. As we match the breakpoints at level 14 yet, a helm with +5 to werewolf can be okay here. Now let's see the stats. The build shines with a huge amount of life points and some perky attack rating. Damage and defense are okay as well. The defense value will raise when chilling armor triggers, and for only having 347 max damage on the weapon, more than 5k is huge. The minimum damage is great here as well. I guess the best in slot weapon for this build would be the same, adding max rolls and 2 sockets. With an extra ED max jewel, the weapon can raise to more than 400 max damage. The total damage increases to an amount of 2500 to 6000. So this is just to check out the limits of this build. I guess everything above 2k min and 5k max damage is very strong yet. Fool's weapons with 40 IAS are kinda rare, so you can also stick to a fanged knife or a bone knife. Here we need 30% less increased attack speed on the same build, so we only need 25% IAS on the weapon. A 10% roll on the weapon plus an ISED jewel will be okay yet. With a 30% roll on the weapon, we can even put an ED max jewel instead. Having 30% IAS on the weapon, we don't urgently need ERAP or 2 open sockets, even a Zod weapon can be okay here. But missing a jewel will also shrink the damage, so a Zod weapon has to have a high ED roll and further helpful adds like a high flat AR roll, otherwise they won't really pay. Generally it's also not worth to play some IAS gloves to get missing speed, because losing Steel Rend will shrink your damage as well. So in the end, you won't be happy with a weapon that forces you to change gloves. Because finally we also have the option to play an ethereal BOTD Zerker Axe, which is horribly strong as well. It only plays at 7 FPA attack speed, but the Zerker Axe has some huge damage, and the 60% increased attack speed from the Rune Root are sufficient for the 7 FPA breakpoint. Here we need to play the Angelic Set combo, losing a bunch of deadly strike from High Lords. Also we need to put a Chum Rune into the Storm Shield. In the helm we can put the jewel with damage and stats, I socketed one with ED and strength. The other items stay the same, 40, Verdungos, Steel Rend and Gore Rider. Using the same inventory, we get more than 9300 life and about the same defense value as WolfBarb's build. The damage is root, 1.8 to 6.3k, and as there is no cold damage, you can optionally put the cold damage small charm to force the enemy to play Cannot Be Frozen. The attack rating looks fantastic as well, so the only drawbacks are a slower attack speed and lower deadly strike. 15% deadly strike and 31% critical strike add up to about 41% chance for double damage in total. Adding High Lords, we get 52% deadly strike and 67% chance for double damage. In the gameplays I tried the Ebotdz build against WolfBarb using his Legend Spike, and as you can see, it has a chance. Thanks a lot to WolfBarb for helping me on this content. In the description you will find a link to his Discord, where you can find more information all around the build. All WolfBarb players and those who are interested are welcome. I say goodbye, take care, and may the loot be with you.
Follow me. Come on. Thank you. Goodbye.